these little columns, so linear regression, you'll note, kind of covers two, right? It covers two columns. It's right in the middle of them. And that is because one of them is the past 100 bars on the channel. And the other one is actually letting you know if it's breaking, right? Like if it's potentially shifting direction. And it's a little hard maybe to wrap your head around a little bit, but this, for instance, means the 24-minute is bearish in slope. So it's just like this one here, give or take, right? It's declining, it's sloping downward. And this little green dot next to it just lets you know that it's weakening. So it's just like this Cardano chart. You can see these little blue dotted lines that kind of signify that it's breaking, right? It used to be this bearish in slope, and now it's less bearish, but it's still bearish. So we don't want to confuse that with bullish. So it could be, early signs of a reversal, but for now, it is still technically a bearish slope. But when we say it's breaking, it just means, let's see if I can draw one. Bearish is like this, and then breaking or weakening, like what we see here on these two little columns, saying that it's kind of like got some bullish breaks. That means that maybe it's still bearish, but it's like a little less bearish, right? It's
Right.
changing somehow to be less bearish, but it's still bearish. So it's, again, never confuse that with being bullish. It has the potential to turn bullish, but is not yet bullish. And when it is bullish, both of those little circles will be green. Let's see if we have one like that. No. Oh, here we go. Like this, over here on Phantom. The past 200 hours for Phantom have been a bullish slope and intensifying. And so that's kind of interesting, that data lets us know if it's intensifying. And so what's really cool is when you have a bunch of bullish slopes and all of them are intensifying. And I'll show you what that looks like. Because again, when you haven't seen it in a while, it makes you feel like maybe it doesn't exist. And so you tend to look to make something happen when something is not really there. And so I'm going to show you my stocks chart, because stocks are doing different things right now. And so they let me show you, some things differently. But like, for instance, here is PayPal. And PayPal is kind of like seeing some bearish volatility, bearish channels, bearish breaks over the past, up to about 100 hours. But all in all, aside from that, it's had a really, really steady run of being bullish and breaking bullish. And so when you kind of like put that in perspective, it gives you a little bit of like, a little bit of clarity on what's really happening and what's not happening. And as you can see, this is the 4, right? This is the 4 hour this happens to be PayPal. But I'm sure the 6 hour looks very similar. And the 2 hours also bullish. So let me see if I can pull up if you want to look at the 4 hour, the cool thing about this chart or this monitor is you can double click it. Takes a second, I guess. There it is. So you can double click it, and then you can just change that one row. It said 6 hour. I happen to want to see the 4 hour because I'm looking at the 4 hour chart. And so now it's processing, and it's about to change this little 6 to a 4. So I can be looking at what it looks like on the monitor there, that little square. And then I can also look at what it looks like on my chart here. So you can see that the 4 hour is bullish, just like this slope, says it is. But this little blue line here, this little channel break, says that it has kind of like in this past day or so, it has kind of like broken a little bit. So the slope was slightly more intense. So if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that blue dotted line. Let's see where the annotate is. Yeah. So like this is what those channel breaks look like. These blue dotted lines, right? This was one that was bearish for quite a while, and then there was a point in time where this price action broke that, and then it started going up. So that was a bearish channel that broke bullish and then turned into an all-out uptrend. So that's there. And then this one is showing you that we are currently in a 400-hour uptrend, right? So this is basically 17 days of bullish pressure, and it's saying that we should be cautious because this is weakening, and that's the slope that it was. That was the bottom. That was the bottom part of the channel, essentially, of where the slope was. And now, as you can see, the bottom part of the channel is just a little bit lower. So it's not an extreme break, and it could easily just keep going and stay bullish. But like, we should know that that's breaking a little bit. And so that's what this little side circle is. It's saying we're still bullish, but caution, that trend could be weakening. There has been at least one break. So that's that. And let's see.